Welcome my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Snowfall Season 2, Episode 3. OMG, it's going down. What's going to happen with Lou and Claudia? Claudia asked her to marry her and gave her a ring, or they want some type of relationship. How is this going to affect Franklin's plan to take over her club and her spot? This is going to be some confusion, and it seems like Lou is kind of like getting sick of Jerome. What's going to happen with that situation? And Kevin, his cousin's getting killed, and him turning on Franklin, pointing the gun. Does that mean that he's going to stay away from the crew? And on top of that, would he become a snitch, an informant? Would he try to rob Franklin and the crew? Or would he start using crack? Because it seems like he's so weak and how upset and mad he was. But he was emotional too at the time too as well. So it seems like he might start using crack. I hope he doesn't. And then on top of that, you got Teddy messing up. Teddy's people's always, dicking him around in Colombia. They don't be playing with him in Colombia. He done got pistol whipped, hipped upside the head. We got to see, Lucia actually finally meet up with Franklin. They still don't know. Lucia and Franklin are actually share the same drug dealer. So that's something. Let's see what happens with that situation. And now, Mel's father, the police officer, he's on Franklin's ass about that car, about the Bell's bondsman, biscuit. So now he got something else to worry about. It's just going in. And then now we see what's going to happen when Franklin finds out that his father got killed by the LAPD. I believe he got killed or beat to death, or probably in a coma somewhere, going to be like a vegetable. How is that going to affect Franklin too as well? It's going in. It's going down. So let's talk about it. So we see Franklin, he's still at his girlfriend. Well, she ain't his girlfriend no more because he's a criminal and her father is a police officer. He's at Mel's house. He's getting it in. He's doing his thing. She finds his gun. She asks him questions about it, but it was no big deal. He bounces. He leaves. It's all good. And then Teddy and his brother. Teddy's brother, I think his name is Matt. He's actually kind of like better than Teddy for some. He's more likable. And, they're flying over to actually get their drugs and stuff. And Teddy keeps saying, we're just going to in there and out. Open up the doors. We get in there. It's going to be very professional. No problems. And all this other stuff. But it ain't like that because there's a new boss in town. And these dudes ain't playing. They want things. So we'll see what happens with that situation. And then moving on from that, we have Claudia and Lou just in the love nest. And Lou ain't even coming home. She's staying over there with Claudia. It's like they made up and they really making up. It's like, whoa. She gives her a ring and everything like that. And she wants Claudia wants, Lou all to herself. She wants to be with her 24/7, 7 days a week. She wants to wife her up immediately. And so then we get, Gustavo. Gustavo goes to see, the fortune teller. And she was like, there's death all around you. And Pedro hates you and he hates Lucia. Of course, anybody knows that's not really a fortune teller. Gustavo should already know that. And Lucia should know that. But Lucia letting Pedro come back in with his girlfriend. I know his girlfriend, she's up to something. She's real smart. And Lucia sees that she's real smart too as well. And now they're working up in the factory. This is going to be a problem. That's where their product comes. That's how they get rid of their product. Bring product in and take it out. So that's going to be a problem too as well. I'm like, damn. So the psychic is telling Pedro that Lucia got death all around her. She's dead in the eyes. Like she's bad for business. She's bad luck. And Pedro, Pedro's in love with Lucia. He was like, she don't even look me in my damn eyes. Like, damn. I was just like, whoa. I must say this episode, they did play some good music, play some James Brown. They played some Special K from the Bronx. And they played some other 80s. They played some 80s music, like, dance, techno, kind of like dance music. That was cool. And they played another song. I just couldn't think of the name of it. But, they're kind of like falling off with the music. So Pedro gets this info now. Not Pedro, but Gustavo gets this info from, the fortune teller. So he's looking out. So he's going to really be on his guard. He's really going to be looking out for things too as well. But he was like, Pedro, Gustavo knows Pedro ain't no good. And he's going to come in. He's going to do something. And it ain't going to be no good. it's gonna be bad because he's up to something, because he's jealous and he hates them both too as well. And so then we get the scene where everybody's chilling in the house. Jerome's in the house, Leon's in the house with his girlfriend, and they just chilling. Some other strange dude is in the house, they chilling or whatever. And then Kevin walks through the door and he was like, yo, they just killed my cousin. My cousin was like my brother, he lived with me, I kind of like raised him, he's like my brother. Yo, some Mexicans, they killed them, and they cut off their penises and all this other stuff, they castrated them. We gotta go get all the Mexicans, any of the Mexicans, every one of the Mexicans. And but I think he was calling, they use a lot of racist terms in this. They use nigga, they use spick. What else did they use? They use gringo. I'm just like, they're using all the racist terms. So he's trying, now he getting Jerome, he's getting, so Kevin is getting Jerome, he's getting, Leon, ready to go, they getting the guns. And then Lou, she walks in the door and she's like, what's going, Lou, she comes in before they want the guns, before the Kevin news comes in. Then Kevin comes in, Lou's there, and she's trying to stop them. They go to the guns, where all the guns are at, and they're ready to go to war, they're ready to kill any Mexican and every Mexican. Kevin wants to kill people on the corner and everything. And then also you can see Leon, he's kind of like not ready, but then he got piped up because it's like they was just Kev was just like, yo, these Mexicans killed us. They lynched us as killing our people, and then bringing up their emotion. And plus, they do know the two kids too as well, because the kids were their soldiers, was their corner boys or whatever. So, he's hyping them up, and then so much emotion going on, and so much energy going on at the time. No one's thinking. Only person that's thinking is Lou. So Lou is actually like the greatest person on Franklin's team, and she's been on his team from Jump Street, especially with Claudia, when he need to, sell his first key and things like that. So she was trying to stop him. She was trying to tell Jerome, like, hey, listen, to stop. Jerome's like, no, this is man's business. And then, Leon's girlfriend, she's trying to stop Leon from going. And they're trying to, where's Franklin? Franklin ain't nowhere around because he's somewhere getting some punkash. He's somewhere getting some punkash. And so, they can't find Franklin. So Lou, she's gonna go look for Franklin, and then the rest of them, the soldiers, they're going. So they driving up in a car, and they're just gonna kill and shoot any Mexican that there is. When they got all the drugs, they got all the money in their car, they ain't got masks on. It's in broad daylight. They not thinking, and you think Jerome is the OG, and he ain't thinking. He ain't doing what he's supposed to do either. So it's just like, damn, Franklin, like Teddy said to Franklin, you're only strongest as your team. And the team and people around you keeps coming up towards Franklin. Like, Franklin's looking around. I don't know if Franklin's going to have to switch up, get some new team members, or start training them or whatever. And, but the episode begins with Franklin's father sleeping on the street and being homeless. His son is a millionaire, and this dude is on the ground sleeping. But I don't know would Franklin's father be a part of his life if he knew he sold drugs? Possibly so, because I think Franklin's father's just an alcoholic, but he might be a fiend too as well. But he might not want that drug dealing life for his son too as well, because he still got the Black Panther, memories and thoughts and the strength inside of him, because that's why he went to fight up against the cops. He's ready to fight. And today they used to do that shit back in the day to homeless people, to get them off the streets and stuff like that and make the neighborhood look good, but they can't do that no more. It's against the law to do that shit today. Spray water hose on them and stop beating them. They used to do that back in the day. They can't do it anymore because the ACLU got into and started filing lawsuits against the city and states and towns and counties that were harassing homeless people. Well, I don't think they do it today. I know they don't do that here. So moving on from that situation, and then it was like, Kevin just wants to kill anybody and everybody. He ain't playing. So we get back to, Teddy and his brother, and now they're being hit with guns and stuff. They're being called gringos, and Teddy got a smart mouth. Like, he doesn't act like a drug dealer. His brother Matt's trying to tell him, you need to act like more drug dealer. You need to act like you're more in charge. You need to act like you got some swag. Like you tough, like you about this life. Like, cause you ain't. His brother's more acting like he's more about the life than he is, and his brother's telling him, hey, listen, you know what happened in Vietnam? Everybody was enemies, even though that's not true. But he was like, back then, you had to be stronger than them. You had to outfight them. You have to be worser than excuse me, you had to be worse than the people you're going after. You know, you have, if they're dirty, you have to be even dirtier. So that's what his brother's trying to teach him, or trying to train him, because it's like, what's going on? And so then, you know, Teddy's sitting there. Teddy's talking mad junk. He gets beat with the gun and get hit. Then they're about to kill Teddy's brother. Teddy's like, I'm sorry, stop. And then now the bosses come. So then, you know, nobody gets killed, because homeboy said to them, only one of you guys need to be alive to talk to the boss. Excuse me. And so I was just like, damn. So the bosses come, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're somewhere in dirt poor area with all that dirt, desert, and everything. They got candles. Why do they got candles on the damn table with grapes, fruits? They eating pig feet. Like, damn. See, Colombians got a lot in common with down south, because they eat pig feet too, and a lot of people probably up north eat pig feet too as well. So, anyways, moving on from that. So they had the conversation. Excuse me. So they're having a conversation with them and talking, and Matt is actually, you know, Teddy's actually digging a grave for herself, and Matt is actually digging him out the grave. And, you know, the drug dealers, they want so much. So now we get back to Franklin. You know, he finds his men, you know, over there at the drug spot, the taco spot, you know, where the young boys got killed at. He bangs on the car, and he was like, what the F are you doing? Wrap this up. Blase the third. He's mad. Franklin's looking at him like, thank goodness Franklin came, because all of them were going to go to jail, and Franklin was going to go down with them too as well. The show was going to be a wrap, so that couldn't happen. And Auntie Lou is there with Franklin. She can find Franklin. She knew where he was. He was somewhere getting that punka. She went and got him. They drove back to the crib. And it's just, you know, he's like, yo, what's wrong with y'all? I go for one day. I'm going, I'm not around, and all this stuff happen. People get dead. These guys gonna get ready to kill people. He was like, yo, does it make any sense trying to kill somebody you don't even know, shooting in broad daylight? She don't know which Mexicans that did it. Like, what's going on? And didn't I say not to be over there on that corner? And he was like, yo, Jerome, this is your fault. You should have made sure that they wasn't over there on that corner. They follow you. They listen to you. You supposed. And Jerome was like, I don't know. I tell them what to do, but they don't listen. He was like, no, they're supposed to listen to you. So it's like he has to tongue lash his uncle, and they're not listening. And they're not paying attention, but Leon, he's paying attention. And so he was like, Unc, you didn't think of, you know, Jerome, you didn't think about getting a number that, you know, Jerome was like, you know, it was that girl that wanted to speak to you, was her people or something like that. So then, you know, that's when Franklin says to Jerome, like, you didn't think about calling her, the last person that they talked to that wanted to do business. I knew they were selling or whatever, Blase in the third. And he was like, you got the card. But Jerome wasn't thinking about that anyway. Nor was Kevin. And because Kevin was there when they got the card, I think Leon was there too. So they all knew that this card existed, and go talk to her. So Franklin ends up calling her and talked to him. Was like, yo, I got men are dead. Blase and third, what happened? What do you want from me? This and that. She was like, well, you know, I'm going to ask questions, see if I can find out who did what, and I'll get back to you, meet you at 2:00. And Lucia, Franklin was telling Lucia to bring only one of her men. And then, you know, Franklin, she was like, well, you bring one of your men too. He was like, Franklin was like, I'm not the one that got 2 dead soldiers. So they're going to meet at some park where none of them have a connection to, where it's not black, where it's not Mexican. So it should be a safe environment. And then we get back to, you know, Teddy and his brother. They're having dinner, they're eating pig feet, drinking wine and shit like that. But they still, you know, captive right now. But Matt talks him out of it. So then, you know, the cartel people was like, yo, the cartel people was like, yo, we want you to bring back some gifts. There was like, we want Michael Jackson album, The Thriller. We want sheepskin condoms, which don't protect from diseases. We want, you know, Cabbage Patch dolls. Oh my God, you guys remember Cabbage Patch dolls? And we want Christmas lights, a lot of Christmas lights, and we want visas too as well. And it was like, oh, we want Frosting Flakes. Oh, they want Frosting Flakes. One thing about, you know, the guy that, you know, had the gun towards, you know, Matt and Teddy, he said to them, your country ain't shit. You talking about you work with the government. He was like, you guys killed the Indians, you chained the blacks, and something else he said, and you hurt somebody else, you hurt the Colombians or the Mexican or the Spanish people, something like that he was saying. I was like, whoa, they said some real shit, huh? And so get back to that. They want a Christmas gift or whatever, but and they want visas because they want to go to Disney World and they want to go to Vegas. And so Matt was like, yeah, that sounds great. And Teddy was like, that's not something I possibly could do, is get you guys visas. And then Matt was like, nah, we can get you visas, no problem. And Teddy was like, damn, I don't think I can't get them visas because he's kind of like cut off from the government. He's supposed to be doing a secret like type of secret, project that the government has nothing to do. He got to fund his project with the drug dealers and things like, was selling drugs and putting drugs out there in the community. And if he gets, he might get burnt because the government's saying, we don't know you. You know what I'm saying? So and there's no connection anymore where he can get things done, or there can't be any more paper trail anymore through this, project that Teddy is doing right now. So Matt was like, yo, I'm trying, we alive, right? We free, right? Like, you lied to him, say something. This is when Matt is telling Teddy, you need to have some balls, let's get it together. And so now we get Franklin. He meets up with Lucia and Gustavo, and they know who Los is. I was like, Los, you still wrestle? Los, what's up? And they was like, what? Los is like, what are you doing here? And Los is like, them calling him Los, it reminds him of the old him, the happy him, the together him, the him that, Los that wanted to start a gym, Los that wanted to do something different. Now he's back in the drug business. He's killing, setting up murders. He even got high a couple of times. They remind him of when, he was a little bit more pure than what he is. And now he's being told that he's surrounded by somebody that just loves death and got evilness and death all around her. But he's in love with Lucia. And I guess Lucia is the only woman that paid him any attention. I don't know what it is, but he's in love with her, and he's in love with the coca, but he's in love with the money too as well, and the power that he does have. But he never started that gym. So moving on from that, Lucia and Franklin, they talk and they have a conversation, and she was like, yo, the people that killed your people is the one that's well protected, and if you guys go after him, all of you guys are dead, your family's dead. It's just something that can't happen. But she was like, let's do business. And he was like, you're gonna talk about business after my cousins were killed? Wasn't they doing business? Everything's always about business. So she's telling him like everything's about business. And this is when Franklin was like, what am I supposed to tell my men? She was like, you ain't no puppet, like be in charge like she is. She a killer, mom. She killed her uncles. She killed her uncles. She ain't no joke. And so then that gives Franklin the strength to go back. And so they're supposed to talk. They're supposed to talk, in a few. So Franklin goes back to his crew to tell him, hey, listen, we can't do this or whatever. And so that's when Kevin's like, why are they walking away? Did they give you any names? Let's kill them. It was like, yo, and then Kev was like, why are you letting them walk away? Can we kill them or something, like, and Franklin was like, no, she's gonna try to get she's gonna put her ears to the streets and try to get some information. And Kev's like, nah, all these Mexicans know each other. They all know each other. And so, Franklin was like, nah, they all don't know each other. And so then he was like, then that's when Kevin was like, yo, I knew you wasn't built for this. You wasn't built for this. I don't know if he called him a bitch. You wasn't built for this or whatever. And then, that's when Franklin slapped the taste out of Kevin's mouth, and he grabbed his gun. He put it towards him, pointed it at Franklin. And, Jerome couldn't get his gun because he got a cigarette in his mouth, and he's so fucking shaky and nervous and shit. And so then that's when, Leon, he jumped in front of Franklin and pointed the gun towards him, brung it down, then brung the gun all the way down. And that's when Kev was like, I love you guys, and he runs off. And Jerome tries to go talk to him. I don't know if Jerome was able to talk to him or not, but it's gonna be a problem with that situation, because I think Kev is gonna go off the deep end, and he's probably not gonna be able to be trusted. So so then now that's the situation, that's a problem. And then so they get back to the house, and then so that's when Leon tells Franklin, I messed up, I shouldn't have did what I did. He apologized, but before then Franklin was like, we all got to tighten up and get things together because I got a shipment coming in. So they're getting ready for the shipment, and he's giving Leon I guess what Kev was doing or whatever. He's telling Leon they're walking to the car, and this is when Leon was like, y'all, my, Kev is probably acting because he ain't have no father like us. So it makes me think that something's going to happen to Franklin's father. He's going to come back into the picture, maybe bring some order to this shit. And so, he goes, he didn't have no father, so he don't know nothing about no rules and regulations. And that's when, Franklin was like, you didn't have no father either. But somehow you follow rules and this and that. And so then, that's when Leon was like, I was wrong for getting that car. I was wrong for not waiting for you and calling you or trying to get in contact with you first, not running it by you first. Never gonna do that again. And we see the orange car, but I didn't know the orange car belongs to, the bail bondsman's cousin, Biscuit or whatever. And so they take off, they bounce. Franklin gets the drugs from Teddy, and Teddy was like, I have people follow, and Teddy was like, oh, you here an hour early, and so Franklin's like, that's what I always do, I'm always early. And so Teddy was like, yo, I like that you smart, that's smart, you're strict, you're careful, but you're only as good as the company you keep, you're only as good as the soldiers or the people that you have working for you. And he was like, that's why I have my people follow. So I don't know if Teddy knows anything about Franklin's situation with the Mexicans over there, the vatos the vatos or whatever. So in that situation, Franklin just looking or whatever, and so like I was saying, I believe that Teddy has a little affinity for Franklin. He kind of likes Franklin a lot. And so then we get Pedro. He's going around town with Gustavo, picking up the drug monies, dropping off the drugs, and he meets this lady, whoever her name is, I don't know what her name was, Lupina or something like that, Lupisa, something like that. And she's like big, real nasty looking, scratching, smoking crack. She looks like, I don't know what she looks like. She's like an oversized Chucky doll. And she has a crush on Pedro. Pedro was like, no, I don't want to go in. And so she's looking, and Pedro's like, no, I don't want to go in. Gustavo's like, go, come on, go. And so that's when she goes, oh, it looks like Gustavo's in charge now. And so, that's going through Pedro's head, whatever Pedro and his girlfriend are planning, because they're planning something. They coming back to be cool, to be chill. Hopefully Pedro don't have on no wire. So anyways, he pushes in himself, so Gustavo pushes in there to go talk to this lady because she got her legs wide open. She wants Pedro. She wants him to sit on her lap. She likes him. She's attracted to him. She's like, baby. Oh, she was so nasty looking. And then she knocked the shit out of Pedro. She busted his face. And they're trying to, tire out Pedro. But now Pedro knows where their drops at, everything about what's going on, like the people that they're picking up drugs from, dropping them off. That's a little bit too much information for Pedro to know, but Lucia is hoping that he'll get tired and won't be bothered anymore. And so then we have Pedro's girlfriend. She's working at the factory, and so Pedro is doing like the drug runs, and his wife is actually working in the factory, which is bad for Lucia. And Lucia has a funny feeling about her. She was like, she's smarter than what she looks. So we'll see what happens with the situation. It's like, damn, it's getting real. And so also Teddy lets Franklin know, like, there's a bank, because Franklin got all these $1 bills or whatever. And so Franklin was like, if I bring this much money in the bank, 1s, 5s, and 10s, they're gonna call the cops. And then that's when Teddy was like, well, you need to find a bank that could serve you, or a bank that you need to bank at. So Teddy was like, then Franklin was like, hook me up then, show me what bank I need to go to. And Teddy was like, I got a bank for you. So we'll see. It's all good. And then Franklin's about to get his freak on again with his girlfriend, Mel, and her father Ray comes in, and he was like, he's knocking on the door, and she hides, and he's asking Franklin about this car. That car is reported stolen. It belongs to the guy that used to drive that car, went missing, and things like that. So what's going on with the situation? Why is this car here? He was like, I'm gonna find out what happened, and I'm gonna get you. And so that's when the girlfriend, Mel, was like, oh, he had a gun, he's running the streets now, he's selling drugs, it's way too much. And she's still in high school, she's still a good girl. So she leaves, she kisses him goodbye and leaves, and she walks away. And so then Franklin's having a meeting with his family, and he's talking to them, and he was like, he was talking to Peaches, and Peaches knew the dude had key. You know, Franklin was like, yo, Peaches, you didn't know the dude had a car, whatever. He was like, yeah, I knew he had a car, and I seen the keys in his pocket. But what you want me to do? Touch that car, get my fingerprints all over, and they can come back to me? Franklin, you're only good as the people that you have around you. And so, and the Franklin's thinking. So now they go back to one of their crack houses, and they was like, they need stove because they got like 10 grand, 10 10 kilos, and they gotta cut and cook. And Franklin doesn't want anybody to know their recipe, so they're gonna keep it among each other. Then Franklin's boy, the white kid, was like, yo, can you front me a key? Franklin was like, okay, 60-40, and we'll see what happens with that situation since Harvey's in jail. Is Harvey gonna snitch, or are we just not gonna see him again? So now that's the situation too as well. I'm just like, damn, it's going down. So peace and out, one love.